All right, welcome back to ILEAD TV. I'm your host, Lakeisha McKnight, and today I'm really excited. I'm really psyched and hyped up right now because today we're going to think about the total opposite. Now, last week we talked about why, your why as in a reason as to why you're in business or why you want to get started with that business. And so today we're going to talk about why it may not be the right time to venture off into a new product or a service. So we're going to talk about today, why not? Stay tuned. Okay, everybody, well, welcome back to ILEAD TV, where I'm your host, Lakeisha McKnight, and you're here on this particular channel, this show, for the entrepreneur. That's what this channel is for. The entrepreneur who is a coach, an author, a speaker, a marketer, a ministry leader, those who are doing business both on and offline. And that's what we help you to do, to build a successful business both on and offline. And today, we're going to be talking about why not. Last week, we talked about why. Now we're talking about why not. Why not? Why this may not be the time to launch this product or service that you're thinking about. So let's talk about a couple of those reasons why it may not be the time to go forth with that particular service or product. All right, so there have been moments and times, even within my business, where I had this desire, right, to launch a product, to launch a service, and even some of my coaching clients, to launch a product, to launch a service. And you have to really do some research first. So here is why it may not be a good time to launch a product or service, and that is looking at, number one, the demand. What's in demand right now? What is a constant need that your particular audience would have? Now, if this is a need that is something that they would need often, you may want to reconsider launching it, okay? Because it may not be the time or the season to do so. Now, this is just one area to look at, is the demand. Looking at your potential clients and seeing if there's really a need for that particular service or product that you are thinking about. So consider that. Number two, another thing to look at is as to whether it may not be a good time is if someone has launched a similar product and it didn't work. It totally flopped. You want to pay attention when you're doing your research to see if someone has launched a similar product or service and it totally bellied, right? Totally flopped. It was not a good launch. It was not a good idea. So look and do your research. Find if someone else has launched a similar product or service that you're looking into launching. So these are just two of the many strategies. I really want to go into a few. So let's dive right in because we have so many others to share. All right, so here's another reason why it may not be good to launch that product or service. Let's look at some personal reasons why it may not be. Financial reason. That's reason number three. A personal reason would be finances. You may not necessarily have the finances to go forth and launching that particular product or service. So that means it's going to require you to do some budgeting, some planning as far as your finances are concerned to see when would be the best time to launch it. You may need to save up. You may need to, of course, gain 3 or 4 more coaching clients to pay for a product or service you're looking to launch. You want to definitely use wisdom with launching a new product or service to make sure that you can cover the costs that's going to be required to launching it within your business. And definitely whether you be able to recuperate, right, that money that you use to invest in that product or service. So think about it. You want to recuperate that money that you've invested in a new product or service. So you want to think of ways in which you can finance it from the beginning. So think about what you can do right now to finance it. That's a solution. If you're financially strapped, you're really at a tight budget, and you're trying to launch a new product or service. Let's think about a fourth reason, which would be a second personal reason why it may not be a good time to launch a product or service. The why not, right? Well, here's a fourth reason why it may not be a good time. Think about it. Do you have all of the resources that you need to launch it. You may need to bring on more contractors to launch the service, because what if you launch it and it totally is a success and you don't have the right people on board to cover the amount of service that you're going to be providing? You want to make sure that you are prepared. Do you have all of the employees or all of the contractors that you would need to launch it? Get prepared. Hire your contractors. Hire people who can be on call just in case, you run overboard with the amount of requests for that particular service or product. You got to have the inventory if it's a tangible product, number one, and you definitely need to have the manpower if many people are going to be requesting that service. You do not want to be a jack of all trades trying to do all of the business all by yourself. You want to make sure you have the right amount of staff or contractors to cover the amount of the demand that is going to be needed to really get that service going so it could be a success. So you definitely want to consider these particular areas, because these contribute to the why not, why it may not be a good time to launch the product or service. So let's talk about that. Let's review what we talked about. We said it has to be, it may not be in demand right now that product or service is needed, right? It may not be in demand. You also want to look at whether it totally flopped with another person or professional who launched a similar product. You want to make sure you're not duplicating the same product or service that it flopped for somebody else. Number 3, you want to make sure you have the financial means. It may not be financially the time for you to launch the product. So definitely do what you need to do to gain the finances to launch the product. And number 4, you want to make sure you have enough people in place to serve the large demand. You may be totally successful in it, but have the manpower, have the resources, the inventory needed if there's going to be a large request. It's going to be a total success. So you want to make sure you're ready and prepared. So these are 4 reasons why it may not be a good time to launch the product or service, but I also gave you a couple of solutions so that you can overcome those why nots. So again, thank you so much for being here at ILEAD TV. Be here next week, Wednesday, 8 p.m. for ILEAD TV's next episode. Yes, I'm also the host for Lakeisha McKnight TV, and I'm thanking you right now for being a part of that show too. But here on ILEAD TV, we focus in on business growth strategies and building your expert platform so that you can have a solid business both on and offline. So again, thank you so much everyone for being here, and provide some comments below. Let us know how you've enjoyed the training today. But then also, I want you to share this information with those in your networks, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, even via email. Send the link via email, letting people know about this training. So again, thank you so much everyone, and I'll see you on next week. Bye-bye.